All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. I want to get an honor, glory, and praises where it's due, which is to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakudash, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well. Salutations to the men teaching this word in truth, sincerity, and diligence. Shalom to you, brothers, and shalom to the believers that are listening, hearing the words of our testimony, and believing in faith and obedience. And this is another episode of news, prophecy, various topics, current events, and I got a bunch of articles I want to bring out. And Lord willing, it's edifying and informative. So the first one I got is from Forbes. This came out about 4 days ago. It says study. December 1st, 2020 is the date. It says study suggests COVID-19 was in the U.S. weeks earlier than thought before first public cases in China. And you got a lot of people, especially a lot of Jake, that say, man, you know, they were sick back in January, February, December. They said they got a real strange illness back then. And it's true because, you know, I'm one of those. I'm one of those Jakes, man. On New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, I remember getting really sick. And I just wrote it off as the flu. I didn't go to a so-called doctor. I just wrote it out. It took me about a week and a half to get back right. I just remember getting extremely sick. You know, all I could do was pretty much sleep. You know, 20 hours out the day, I'm knocked the fuck out, right? And a lot of people were saying that they got sick around that time. So it says researchers, including scientists from the CDC and the American Red Cross, have found evidence that COVID-19 was present in the U.S. in December 2019, weeks earlier than previously thought and before even the first cases in Wuhan, China, had been publicly identified. Which, yeah, that makes sense because, you know, a lot of times, you know, and brothers will tell you, hey, we not saying that it ain't nothing really out there that's getting people sick. We just saying that, you know, there's an agenda behind this whole thing. But, you know, based on that testimony that the brother Manata Zakba in South Carolina re-uploaded yesterday, you know, it was an older brother in the faith that that was giving his testimony on recovering from the CV, and he said, you know, it's real, man. It was some shit. You know, he gave some good details on what he was going through. So, you know, that gave insight that, hey, there is something out here for real. But like I said, Jake was talking about getting sick back in December, January. Like I said, I was real sick on New Year's. So it definitely was something out there. Like I said, I just wrote it off as the flu though. But I ain't gonna go into this because the main thing I wanted to get that, you know, they said that it was something already out here. Now, this is another article. And we ain't writing it off that Esau put some shit out there, you know, because Esau, we know that he controls the narrative by way of the media, but we can't write it off past the devil that he would actually, you know, put some shit out here and really have motherfuckers out here sick as hell, you know what I'm saying? This is dated December 3rd, December 4th. Would you be willing to get a vax in exchange for a $1,500 stimulus check? How one bold proposal would work. And I'm going to get a precept. Go to Ecclesiastes 7:7. It says, surely oppression maketh the wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart, man. So you got to be careful with these gifts because we dealing with the serpent. It ain't nothing for him to give you Jakes a little gift, give you a little $1,500 stimulus check in exchange for you to get inoculated with some shit that's going to destroy you anyway. You know, allegedly, all right? Let's check it out. Get the key points. Americans are eager for more one-time stimulus checks while the U.S. government is working to get COVID-19 vax to the American public. Now, one proposal from former Congressman John Delaney aims to help both sides by providing stimulus checks in exchange for getting vaccinated. So they gonna give you some motivation to go and get it, man, because they know you going through it. They done fucking damaged the economy. They know you can use the bread, and they gonna give you a little measly $1,500 check, all right, one time to go and get this inoculation in you. It says the goal to reach a 75% vaccination rate faster, which could save both lives in the U.S. economy. Yeah, I bet. You know, I bet. Millions of Americans are still hoping for a second round of stimulus checks to help them cope with the financial fallout of the COVID-19 pandemic. Meanwhile, the U.S. government is preparing to distribute vaccinations to the American public in order to put an end to the public health crisis. And how you know that America is not righteous is because it shouldn't even have to be about, in exchange for you getting this, we'll give you the money. How about giving the money, man? Because the shit's phony anyway. It ain't like you niggas ain't, it ain't like the government don't just print up some goddamn shit. The money ain't real anyway. It ain't backed by nothing. It ain't nothing for y'all to just print this shit up and clear debts and send out checks. Anyway, man, that's how you know this is all a part of the sorcery, and it's all wickedness, man. It's all wickedness. It's all deception. Now, one proposal aims to help both efforts by giving people $1,500 stimulus. It ain't like we've been in this shit for a month and people is only a month behind rent. You got folks that's 3, 4, 5 months behind rent, man. You talk about giving people $1,500 stimulus checks, man. That shit don't even cover some people rent, man. $1,500 that's what? After rent, that's only $200 for me, man. That ain't shit. 1 month of rent. And that's if you ain't got children and all that, all that extra stuff, man. The idea comes from entrepreneur John Delaney, a former Democratic congressman. And he said the faster we get 75% of this country vaccinated, the faster we end COVID, and the sooner everything returns to normal. Yeah, and they're going to keep pushing that narrative, man. Let's keep moving. All right, this is, check this out. It says Russian authorities to investigate after forged negative COVID-19 test certificates found on sale for just $33 each. Now, this is, kind of important to me. This is what sticks out because, all right, this is what people are going to be doing. It's going to be forged and phony, false negative tests and or whatever. And guess what? Guess what, though? They're going to need a system that can't be compromised, something that people can't forge and can't cheat and clone. Because when you're dealing with Jacob, Jacob means to supplant. So naturally, the Israelites know how to, finesse the system, know how to get over. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's going to happen with this thing. But guess what? This is going to give way. This is going to give way to the new way of buying and selling, the new system, a system that can't be compromised, and that's going to be this beast system, man. So look out for more of these type of things happening where they're going to say things are forged or phony this and phony COVID tests, phony vax records. This is Revelation 13:16. It said that he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or name of the beast or the number of his name. And keep in mind, we're under a public, a national emergency. So, things are different right now. Now everything is based on, the medical field, and the public safety has precedence right now. What they say is priority right now. And so this could lead way to them announcing, hey, we need something that can't be forged, can't be, it can't be cheated. It can't be nobody finessing the system, nobody cheating the system. And that's what can lead way to this whole new way, because again, when you look at the New Testament, Revelation, the 13th chapter, verse 16, that's 606. When you look at it in the Greek, chasai stigma, and when you look at it, the
Strong's G 5516, chai psi stigma.
Chai psi stigma.
Chai psi stigma.
Now the psi, which is the one in the middle, that is if you look at it, is very similar to the medical symbol, which is I forgot what it's called, caduceus, the traditional symbol of Hermes, and features two snakes winding around and often a winged staff. Now let's look at images. You see how that looks? Now just picture one of those. Just look at one of the snakes, one of the serpents, and you pretty much have that here with the symbol of the psi symbol. Okay, so this is Xing out the Messiah and replacing it with medicine, with the medical field and technology by way of insertion, and that's what the stigma represents. The stigma represents the piercing. All right, they're gonna pierce you. They want to pierce you with a chip. Okay, they want to pierce you with a chip, and they want you to bow down to this new system, this new field. They want you to listen to their experts. They want the medical and the scientific experts to be your prophets, your gods, your the one who you reverence. All right, so keep an eye on things like this, man. Russian authorities to investigate after forged negative code. Let's read about this. A criminal case has been opened in Russia after mass forgeries of negative COVID-19 test certificates were discovered. The documents were found to be on sale online for 2,500 rubles, which is $33 each. All right, the Moscow City Prosecutor's Office has reported that a criminal investigation is underway to discover who is behind the forgeries. Right. The case comes after a complaint by medical laboratory company Gemotest, which reported that it had appealed to law enforcement after discovering that its certificates were being faked. Along the police, Gemotest conducted controlled purchase of the forgeries, leaders to the couriers being questioned. Yeah, because I'm telling you, man, Jake know how to finesse some shit, man. If you grew up in any hood around Jake always got some shit for you, man. You can buy anything with Jake, man. Jake know how to beat the system, how to game the system. So definitely this could propel, the digital microchip system, to move forward. And I'm just kind of breezing through these things. I'm not gonna read everything. Look at this. Fake certificates pose a threat not only to the lives of citizens who buy them, but to the entire society. What is that? Public safety. Said Yulia Belakova, the faction's leader in the Moscow region. Any crime in this case, fraud on the health of the people, should be punished. Okay. All right, this is RT News. This came out today, December 5th. Sputnik 5 launched to public. Large-scale COVID-19 vax campaign kicks off in Moscow and hopes rise of end to pandemic. Now, what's going to happen to those that don't want to take the vaccine? You got to keep that in mind because everybody ain't with this. But if you look at the narrative is being pushed that, this could be the end. Now we can get back to normal. Now we just need everybody to comply, right? To move forward with this, to do the right thing. A wide-ranging anti-Covax campaign began in Moscow on Saturday with thousands signing up for shots online in the Russia capital. Frontline workers were given first priority, as previous indicated. Those wishing to participate have to sign up online before receiving their initial dose of Sputnik 5 at one of the city's 70 specialist clinics. The vax consists of 2 separate injections. The second jab must be administered 21 days. So every vax is gonna be like this. It's gonna be multiple. You gotta come multiple times for the first one, the second one, the third one. The whole procedure, which includes the time needed to cool down the formula after it's removed from the freezer, takes less than an hour. Injections are administered to people between 18 and 60 that present no chronic health conditions. The vax is free for Russian citizens. Senior health official Alexei Kuznetsov announced that Sputnik 5's maximum commercial price would be $26 for both injections. Yeah, they're going to make it free, affordable, convenient. So why don't you want to take it? They're going to have your presidents, they're going to have Clinton, the first black president, Bill Clinton, take it. They're going to have the second black president, Obama, take it. Why you don't want to take it? You must be a terrorist. You must be holding something. You must want to get people sick. You must got it. This is another RT News. This came out today as well. It says Biden says he won't force Americans to vaccinate, but he will do everything in his power to encourage them to do the right thing. All right, so this is the narrative being pushed out there, man. Do the right thing, Jake. Do the right thing, Americans. you American people, do the right thing. Get vaccinated. You know, help out the hospitals. They're getting overwhelmed. Do the right thing. We don't have to force it on you. We trust that the American people will do the right thing. I think that's in Psalms 55. Yep, Psalms 55:21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. All right, and that's Esau with these these smooth ass words, man. Very, very crafty, man. Full of enchantments. Let's go to Genesis, the 3rd chapter. Verse 1, it says, Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made, and he had said unto the woman, Yea, have God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? Let's look up that word, subtle, in the online Edamon. Subtle, penetrating, ingenious, refined, sophisticated, intricate, abstruse. Okay, let's get another definition. Subtle. So slight as to be difficult to detect or describe, difficult to understand. Now, when you look at that and you look at that in the Hebrew, let's get it there. Serpent, Salakia, not serpent, but subtle, which is Aram, hold up, Salakia, Aram, subtle, shrewd, crafty, Aram, sensible, shrewd, prudent. So this serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. He was, and this is all parabolic talk because this is speaking of this man or this nation of people being very crafty, more crafty than any other nation of the field. All right, and it was a parable where the Lord broke down how the field represented the world. So the beasts represent the other nations here. So this man, the spirit of this man here is more craftier than any other nation of people on the planet. All right, so that's same spirit is here in Esau, Edom. Very crafty, very subtle with his speech. So, Biden saying, and Biden's last name, goes from the word bide, which means to trust or to persuade. So you got to watch this devil. He said he is encouraging them to do the right things. I do everything in my power as president of the United States to encourage people to do the right thing. And when they do it, demonstrate that it matters. So, this is the same guy that said, when he first get in, he's going to ask Americans to wear the mask for 100 days straight. Wherever you go, outside of your house, put the mask on. But guess what? That's going to end up turning to wearing a mask in your house. They're going to get, this shit going to get freaky come 2021, man. I believe they're going to have a new strain to come out. And these things are going to get more severe, these restrictions and shit like that, man. They gonna take this shit to the next level, which is really the Heavenly Father taking it to the next level. Because this man is in straits, so he gotta get busy. He gotta do this thing quickly. All right, this is I checked others. This is on multiple news sources here. This is December 5th as well. I wanted to check to make sure this was legit. It says Canadian Chief Medical Officer. If you don't take the vax, you can't move around. So Ontario's chief medical officer says those who refuse to take the COVID vax won't have freedom to move around and will have to continue to wear a mask. Williams acknowledged that we can't force someone to take a vaccine, but went on to explain how people who... so you can't force the vax, but you can force people to wear masks and you can force them not to be able to move around. Right. Right. who didn't take it would have their freedom of mobility severely restricted. You see that? So you're not free, man. No matter where you are now, if you're in Canada, you're in the United States, it don't matter, man. There is no freedom here, man. And that's starting to be evident as things move forward. You don't have any freedom here, man. You can't say what you want. You can't do what you want. You're not free here. Freedom was all an illusion, and now the elites are pulling the plug on that illusion. They're pulling the plug on that light. That shit ain't real, man. What we can do is say sometimes for access or ease of getting to certain things, if you don't have the vax, then you're not allowed into that setting without other protection materials, said Williams. And this is why the scripture says a prudent man foreseeth the evil, because we knew this. We knew through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua that these devils don't have to force these things on us. Because you tell Jake, hey, they're going to make it mandatory, where first thing Jake will say, they can't make me do this, they can't do that, they can't do this, they can't do that. These devils can do whatever they want to do, man. Okay? Through the approval of the Heavenly Father. Whatever his will is, these devils are going to do. But this is why these devils can do what they do, man. This is Job 9:24. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof, which are the Israelites. The Israelites are the judges, all right, because we have been given the law, which is what we judge things according to. It says, if thereof, if not, where and who is he? If these devils, right, this devil here, if his people ain't the devil, then who is he, man? That's what they're saying, man. If not, where and who is he? If these niggas right here, okay, if these ain't the devils right here, then who is it, man? If the Rothschilds, the Oppenheimers, the DuPonts, the Gettys, the Bilderberg Group, the Trilateral Commission, all these devils, if they ain't the devil, then who is it, man? What may be mandatory is proof of... Hold on, Salaka, let's jump up. Williams acknowledged that we can't force someone to take a vax, and exactly, but went on to explain how people who didn't take it would have their freedom of mobility severely restricted. That says severely restricted. So they're going to come with some serious policy. They're going to come with some serious policy that's going to restrict your movement. And this is what they do. They have these things already pre-written, prescribed. Isaiah 10:1, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. All right, they already prescribed these things, man. Let's get Micah 2:1. It says, woe unto them that devise iniquity. Woe unto them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. The earth has been given into the hands of the wicked. So that's why they do these things. Verse 2, and they covet fields and they take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. This is what these devils do. These devils is about to oppress you. They literally about to oppress you in your own house, man. They just said that your freedom of mobility is severely restricted. What we can do is say sometimes for access or ease of getting into certain things, if you don't have the vax, then you're not allowed into that setting without other protection materials. What may be mandatory is proof of the vax in order to have latitude and freedom to move around without wearing other types of personal protective equipment. So it's going to come to a point where the mask and all that shit is going to be a requirement. You're going to be punished if you don't have on a mask and these other PPEs. And eventually, as one of the whistleblowers said, they're going to actually put you into these different isolation detainment centers. That's what's coming. That's why the Lord said, fear none of these things which thou shalt suffer. Revelation 2, verse 10, it says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison that you may be tried, and you shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Let me go ahead and get the next one. This is verse 11. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death. So I said that to say, man, we got to overcome. We got to keep doing what we doing, keep believing, keep the faith, keep the works, keep charity, brotherly love, and praying that the Lord is gonna, deliver us through these things, and pray for the elect and pray for each other, man, and just enduring to the end. Williams also suggested that people would be prevented from entering certain settings without having been vaccinated if there was a risk. As we previously highlighted, governments do not have to make the vax mandatory. They can simply make life unlivable for people who refuse to take the vax. You see that? If bars, restaurants, and I'm speaking kind of fast because it's hot as hell in this fucking place that I'm in, man. It's like 80-something degrees in here, man. So I'm trying to hurry up and do this video and get out of here. All right, but let me keep reading. If bars, restaurants, cinemas, sport venues, airlines, employers, and others make the vaccination a mandatory condition of service, anyone who refuses to take it will be reduced to a personal form of de facto lockdown, with their social lives and mobility completely stunted. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Revelation chapter 12, verse 11. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. This is Matthew chapter 10, verse 39. He that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it. For whosoever will save his life, Matthew 16 and 25. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it, man. It's coming down to the point of how bad do you want your life? How bad do you want the luxuries, the convenience, How bad do you want your life here? How bad do you want, peace here in this world? How bad do you want a position in this world? That's what it's going to come down to. This devil is going to force, everyone to submit and bow and worship his image, man. This is Revelation, the 13th chapter. Verse 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, which is coming to that point. But the point is that he had the power to give life into the image of the beast. And this is how he's going to do it, by way of his policies, man. He's going to put these decrees down, in all these different states and worldwide, and they're going to be enforced in these local businesses, and they're going to be enforced by a military presence, even people. Eventually, Esau is going to give incentives and rewards to people to turn in and snitch on those who don't, play by the rules, man. He gonna give little rewards out there. Esau his technology gonna get so, especially when the 5G come in, it's gonna be so advanced to where it's gonna be, picking up on shit, man. Just like how you got the social credit score system in China, you fucking jaywalk, and next thing you know, you already getting a deduction on your social credit score. Next thing you know, you can't hop on the train because your credit score done got too low. So yeah, man, we coming into that point, man. Very serious times, man. Now's the time to seek the Lord. All right, this is dated November 30th. DailyWire.com. LA health official: not wearing a mask is an act of domestic terrorism, should be treated like one. All right, a top LA County health official has called for people to be arrested if they are caught not wearing a mask in public, saying that not wearing a mask was equivalent to an act of domestic terrorism. Oh, man, this thing is genius, man. When you think about it all, man, this shit is actually genius. It's wicked geniusness. LA County Health Officer Dr. Muntu Davis made the remarks late last week in a piece that was published by the LA Daily News. County public health officials faced with dramatically increased rates of transmission and potentially exponential growth of deaths in the coming weeks have been ringing major alarm bells in recent days as hospital rooms fill up again and depleted hospital staff scramble to keep up. The LA Daily News reported they worry that such resources could be overwhelmed this month across the county as more people ignore public health guidelines and if businesses were able to remain open without constraint. Davis said that outdoor dining was a problem and those restaurants need to have their activity limited in order to get the infection rates under control. If it were up to me, anybody not wearing a mask when they're out in public would be arrested. Davis said that's an act of domestic terrorism and should be treated like one. All right, so, let's look. Because these devils are very crafty. You got to keep an eye on them, man. It'd be nothing for this sentiment, this thought to next thing you know becomes law, becomes policy, becomes the standard throughout the whole state, throughout the whole country. So keep an eye on that shit. Let me get a precept. Let's look up that word mischief. Psalms 52:2, that thy tongue deviseth mischiefs like a sharp razor working deceitfully. Let's look up the word mischief. Mischief, evil condition, misfortune, hardship, need, want, wickedness, wrongdoing, evil, you see? And that's these devils, man. That's these devils. Psalms 55 and Psalms 94:20 shall the throne of iniquity, which is Esau, he's the throne of iniquity, have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law. Right, they form wickedness by way of their laws, man. These unrighteous decrees. Psalms 119 and 150. It says, they draw nigh that follow after mischief. They are far from thy law. And these devils are far from the laws of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. No matter how many Bibles these devils swear on, no matter how much they say, God bless America, pray for the nation, these devils are far from the Bible, man. Don't be fooled. Let's get one more. Can your employer force you to get the vax? And I ain't gonna read this one, but in a short, response to that, yeah, they can, man. Just ask yourself this: Can you go to work tomorrow? Can you go to your job tomorrow and say, "Fuck that shit, I ain't wearing no mask"? Can you do that? All right, then. That's it. If your answer is no, then yeah, they can say, hey, you need to get stabbed one time and prove you got stabbed, or you can't work here no more, and that's coming. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and get one more script, and then we're gonna close out. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 10, verse 20. And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them. All right, so that remnant represents the elect, all right, which are the men, women, and children, the remainder of the house of Israel that the Lord already predestined to get through these hard times and receive salvation at the second coming of our Lord. And that word stay, it says no more stay upon him that smote them. That word stay means to rely. So, Lord willing, we fulfilling this prophecy that the elect would no longer rely upon Esau, Edom, and his system. They would begin to rely on Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. It says, but shall stay or shall rely upon the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. The remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty power. For though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, meaning it's a whole lot of Israelites, man. It's an innumerable amount of Israelites. It says, yet only a remnant of them shall return. That's why we ain't concerned. That's why we ain't concerned with, trying to get this, trying to get all our friends, family, and relatives to understand this word. If they can't get it, fuck them. Like, move on. You know what I'm saying? Because it's only a remnant that's gonna get it, even though it's a lot of Israelites out here. It says the consumption decreed shall overflow with righteousness, and that consumption decreed is the destruction, man. The missiles, and the day of the Lord, man. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and close that through the Spirit, man. Lord willing, that was edifying, and it's on to the next.